There are so many things that goes into making a quality video. Along with the quality of video itself, there is audio, lighting, content, and so much more. Above all, the story you want your audience to enjoy and keep them coming back. I've been making YouTube videos for over a year now, and a lot of people have been asking about my process for creating, filming, and editing my videos. I'll share my favorite gears, tips, which will hopefully give you some ideas if you're planning to start your own YouTube channel, or if you want to implement in your existing channel. I'll also share a breakdown of total cost of my setup in the end. So let's dive in. First, I start with planning and scripting. So when I decide I have a good story to tell, I have to organize and plan how I tell that story to my audience, which they can relate to, and it has to be useful to the viewers and interesting at the same time. Since my channel is focused on tech content, it also requires a lot of research, understanding the tech while I use it, noting down the things I want to convey as I use the device, and condensing it in a 10 minutes video. Like when I made the iPhone 14 Pro video I used for a week, and I was noting down the things I disliked and liked about the device and how I felt about the phone in general. Then I sit down to write the script for the whole video. I write my script on Google Docs, and I usually write it word by word. I know a lot of YouTubers just keep keywords or post-it notes and talk on their own in their videos. Scripting and sticking on to it works best for me. It helps me to create the whole story in an organized way and tell it effectively. There is no one right way to do this, so just go ahead with what works best for you. Once I finish writing it, I go through the script a couple of times and see if it requires tweaks here and there. Once the script is ready, I get started with the filming process. I film my videos in a few different places in my home. This is from the living room, but most of the videos you have seen is from one of the bedroom which we have converted into a simple studio. It's a very small room, and I'll go over all these gear in a minute. Since I like my videos to be a bit moody and contrasty, I've painted this wall with dark brown, which also serves as a background for my videos. There's a small table here where I put some lights and some props for the video. I usually shoot at night, which also helps in getting the light consistent. Speaking of lighting, this is how I light my YouTube videos. First, a sturdy light stand, nothing fancy. Next, the main light, which is a Godox VL150 LED light. It's super bright and silent. I usually keep the light at only 20 or 25% brightness. It's top quality and I really love it. Next, this huge thing on top of the light, which is called the diffuser. You see, if I just use the light directly, the light is pretty harsh and unflattering. To get a nice flattering look, I use this aperture light dome to diffuse the light and get this nice soft light on my face. Don't worry, I'll put the links to everything I mentioned in the description below. Okay, that's the main light. This should be sufficient to get started, but I also use two more lights to enhance the videos up a notch. First, I use a small LED on a table or behind me, which will help differentiate me from the background. Second, I use another LED light on a light stand, which I keep on my side over my shoulder. This is called the rim lights. So this gives a nice rim light on my face, shoulder, and head. It's a small touch, but you can see the difference with and without the additional lights turned on. Next is my camera gear. The camera I record on is a Sony a7R III full frame camera. It's a 42 megapixel camera. This is not a video centric camera because I'm using the same camera which my husband was using for his landscape photography. I shoot in 4K 30 FPS and it has worked best for me. The lens currently on my camera is a Sigma 85mm f1.4 lens. I also frequently use the Sigma 24mm f1.4 lens. That's the lens I use when I record in my studio. I like the 24mm because I want the camera to be close enough but also have a wide field of view without much distortion. Both the lenses are super sharp and the large f1.4 aperture gives this nice background blur. Since I script out my whole video, I sometimes use a teleprompter which attaches to the lens. It reflects the content from my phone which has the script, and I can use it as a guide when I record the video. When I first started recording my videos, I was really nervous to talk in front of the camera, and using a teleprompter has helped me ease into the video creation world. This whole camera setup sits on a sturdy tripod from Sirui. This is again a tripod that my husband was using for his landscape photography. Okay, we covered the lighting and the camera gear. Next is an underrated but an important one, audio setup. A lot of people miss out on this while they focus on good camera and good lights. Audio is as important as video is. I use this Sennheiser MKE600 shotgun microphone on a mic stand which is barely out of the frame. I keep it as close as I can, and sometimes it's overhead without being in the frame, and and sometimes it's in the frame, both of which are okay for me. It sounds so good when compared to the microphone built into the camera. I record the audio externally using the Zoom H5 audio recorder, and then I sync the audio and video separately later. Okay, that's the lighting, camera and audio setup. It usually takes about an hour to record. Next, I again have to go back a couple of steps and start with the scripting. This time it's for B-roll videos. Once I have the A-roll ready, I'll go over them as I talk and then make a note of all the videos which I want to film for B-rolls. B-roll videos are the secondary non-talking part of the video. Having B-roll videos are important as it makes the video more interesting for viewers rather than me sitting and talking straight for 10 minutes. So I'll note down all the shots and I'll go and then shoot for the B-roll content. Depending on the type of B-rolls and gadgets, it might take a few days to get this done. For example, for the iPhone Pro video, I had to show the camera in low light, daylight, outdoor, indoor, and also all features comparing it to my old phone. So it took me a couple of days to get all this done. Okay, so now I have all the clips that I need to start putting my videos together. This is the editing part. If you have seen in my previous video, I am a Mac user and I use a Mac Mini for my video editing needs. So I use Final Cut Pro, which is a Mac only editor for editing. In my opinion, it's one of the easiest and most powerful editor softwares available. I start putting together the clips, edit out the unwanted content or mistakes, add B-rolls, music, transition, effects, text, and after hours of editing, the video is ready to be exported. It took hours of YouTube learning and practices to get an efficient workflow, but it's worth it when you have the final video ready. The video is ready, but there is one more thing needed before I publish the video. It's the thumbnail. Sometimes it's a clip from the video itself and sometimes it's a separate photo related to the content. I use Photoshop, Adobe Spark or Canva to create the final thumbnail. Once that's done, my video is ready to go live. So that's an overview for my video production process. All these gears were not acquired overnight. We repurposed a lot of our existing equipment, including the camera and tripod, and we slowly grew our gear collection. If I put together the cost of all these items, this is how much it would cost. But again, all these equipments are not required to get started and I only had camera and tripod when I made my first video. These are the methods I follow for now and I learn new things with every video of mine. And there is no end to this process, which is again very interesting and it keeps me excited for every video. There is still so much to it which I would love to learn and will surely make an updated video maybe next year. Let us know what you think. Also, if you already have a YouTube setup, please share about it with us. I would really love to know. See you in the next one. This is Anjana. Bye-bye.